All right, and we are back. Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast. It's an absolute honor to sit down with my man Jeff Rose. What's happening, Jeff?
And thanks for having me. Thanks for giving us a voice. And, you got big people on here, little people on here. So it's just amazing. So thank you for the opportunity.
Listen, the honor's absolutely all mine, my friend. And me and you, we absolutely have a lot to talk about. And I feel like this is going to go into a part two of the podcast for sure, just because we got so much to talk about. But man, let's just go ahead and jump into it, Jeff. Where did it all begin for you on them two wheels?
Man, I remember being 6, 7 years old, running home from school, watching reruns of Chips and just being obsessed with these bikes, right? And I think that's where it started. But my parents both owned motorcycles until I was real little. But it's one of those things I think a lot of us think it's in your blood. So that's kind of where it came from for me. And I was under the never under our roof kind of thing when I was a kid, right? So first couple of bikes I owned, parents didn't know about it, kept it at my best friend's house, and I got caught a couple times with that. But that's the basis of where it started. And then 2014 was when I broke into the industry, and got started with track days. I met my buddy Omar out in New Jersey, and he got me going, and it's just been an obsession from there. So
How did you learn about track days?
yeah, it was Omar. He was an instructor for Team Promotion out east, and that's where I'm from originally. So I used to go down to New Jersey and ride with him, and as soon as I was hired on to the same company he was begging me to get out there. And I just remember that, those first days of seeing the instructors go and whatnot. It's like, how are these guys going so fast? And you just sometimes don't think it's possible that you could be doing that, and how things change, right?
Yeah, absolutely how things change. So, growing up on bikes, my mom was always like to know. My dad was like, yes, let's go. Right. My dad had a motorcycle, so I grew up riding with him and then my friends as well on dirt bikes. And then of course I got a street bike and do what we all did, squidding on the street, thinking we're Ricky Road Race and all that good stuff. Did you do any of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have friends that'll tell you I was one of the squidliest out there. So it's kind of funny to look back to where I was at and what we're doing now, and it's just a stark contrast. But really fortunate to not have gotten seriously injured as a kid doing some of the stuff. But I always try to be the student of whatever sport I'm involved in, so try to do it right. And as I matured a little bit, that's certainly been a big part of my evolution as a rider.
Oh yeah, 100%. And coming from the street, we develop bad habits, and we don't realize that until we get to the track, and we're like, "Yeah, I just absolutely suck. I have no idea what I'm doing at all." But it's those of us that leave the ego outside and we come at it at an open mind approach and just soak it all in and ask questions, and actually learn what you're doing on the motorcycle and progress from there. It's a wonderful feeling, yeah, looking back at all the stupid shit we did on the street and to what we know now, we're like, yeah, I don't condone it at all, but I can see, it's accessible for most people to buy a bike and jump on it. And well, it's nowadays with the GoPros and the YouTubes and all that good stuff, they could just
Yeah.
record and blah, 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 blah. Right. But yeah, I encourage everybody, you got to go to the track. You have to go to the track. Changes your life.
Yeah, no, it really does. Everybody's going the same direction. If anything happens, it's pretty much designed for you to crash safely there. But yeah, there's too many variables on the street.
It is. Now, do you still street ride too?
A little bit here and there. I kind of honestly don't have the same enjoyment as I used to. I used to do rides halfway across the country and back and stuff like that. But lately, it's kind of a time thing. But it's kind of gnarly out there. People are paying less and less attention to us, and I prefer the track. I just feel it's safer, and I get more enjoyment out of it when I can.
Oh, 110% it's safer, right? And you're right. I feel like when I go out and ride on the street now, I'm in this super defensive mode and it's not fun. I'm super tense and I'm just always looking over my shoulder and behind me the whole time, and everybody's doing this going
Yeah.
down the road, So it's not fun. You're right. It's not fun anymore. I'm like you. I used to take long. We used to ride to Indy on a motorcycles for the MotoGP race. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, I do miss those days, right? Because it was just a different time period, and you still get the same feeling when I throw my leg over my street bike, even if it's for a 10-minute drive down the street, picking my son up from school or taking him lunch, and all the kids are like, "Oh my god, your dad's got a bike! How cool is that?" Those little moments are cool, but other than that, yeah, I don't ride too much. And I'm like you, I don't really have a whole lot of time to. So absolutely. So Jeff, man, so getting into the track, man, you got to tell me your first experience in track days. Everybody's experience is different. I went with a couple buddies. We signed up at Phoenix. I mean, Firebird International Raceway in Phoenix. That's where I actually got my first road racer license. A while ago,
Okay.
I went through all my stuff and I was trying to find all my race licenses right, but I found my original one from
Oh wow.
1999. Look at that CCS, baby.
There
Boom.
you
Yeah, let's go, right?
go.
But yeah, my first experience, my buddies tend to squid harder than I did on the street. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. Let's take it when we get on the track. I'm gonna bust that ass. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
And of course, at the end of the day, I did, but it just opened my world to all completely different. I felt I was already in love with motorcycles. I didn't think I could fall much more in love with motorcycles, right? And then
Yeah.
you discover the track, and you're just like, it's like learning all over again. It
No,
really
it
is.
really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I remember being out there the first time and just, beginner group, right? And Omar's following me around, and I think somebody passed me up the inside, and it was really a non-incident, but you're not supposed to do that. So I think Omar took off around me, and then the next corner was like a big sweeper. It was a NJMP Lightning, and I remember watching the rate at which he was going away from me, and I just at that point was just kind of amazed that it was possible to get away that quick and corner that quick. And I just remember little moments like that along the way. And you kind of enter your first track day, and you might be, the fastest of your friends on the street or whatever. And then you go out there and you think you're getting it, and you look at your pictures and the bike's at 15 degrees and you're straight up and down with your arms locked out. So yeah,
you're
it's,
like, look
it's
at this true squid right here, right? Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I remember they were like, just don't crash, and you'll get your race. So that's all I kept telling myself: just don't crash, just don't crash, just don't crash, just don't crash. And I just wanted my race license.
yeah.
But you're right. Getting out there and getting past, it's a whole new world. People coming up on the inside. I remember the fastest guy out there was Mark Ledesma. I was trying to remember his name, but it come back to me. He had a ZX7, man. He would come around the last corner and just hold out his hand and drag it on the ground. I thought that was the coolest shit I ever seen. I was like, dude, how cool is that, dude? I want to be him. That's who I want to be right there. Super cool guy too. I picked his brain. I felt sorry for him because I was always like da 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 da. And every time I walked away, I was like, I'm just waiting for the day to him say, "Not today, Simcoe. Just not today." Right? But it was never the case, as you find with most people. I remember showing up to my first race, and I didn't read the book, so I didn't safety wire anything. And the dude looks at me, he's like, where's your safety wire at? And I was like, what the fuck is safety? What are you talking about, safety wire? What is this? He's like, you didn't read the rule book, did you? I was like, guilty, right? Luckily, the beautiful people in the paddock helped me out and brought up some drills and all that good stuff and got me going. So
Nice.
that was my first race weekend. It started
Yeah.
from there. It was awesome. Me and two of my buddies against the world, I felt like, right? You're like, yes, let's go.
Yeah. My first race was at VIR.
Oh, dude, my home track. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I miss that place, man. We would go there once a year, usually during the Moto America weekend, because coming down from Massachusetts, it's about a 12-hour drive. But if you made a 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend out of it, with that Monday track day on the back of it, it was worth it. And yeah, it was team promotion. They had their little GP Moto series, just get your feet wet kind of thing, and signed up, did the riders briefing and all that, and got out there. And I remember being just so intense with it, just clutching the bars and like 6 seconds off my normal lap times, just cruising, just because I was fighting to go hard. And man, that was a mess. But you learn a lot from that as well.
And we always will never forget our first taste of that humble pie,
Yeah.
right? It never, and to this day, it still tastes the same. It's identical. The taste never changes. It's the same pie year in, year out, right? It's just like the first time you put on your first leather suit, whether it was too big or too small in some areas, right? Because it never fit properly. It was you felt invincible. I was like, I can do anything.
Yes.
Watch me now, right? Yeah, and then you show up to the track and yeah, you can't do anything
Yeah.
but
Always
put on
somebody
that.
faster, right?
Always somebody, there's always that rabbit out there.
Yeah.
And in my case, a whole bunch of white rabbits in front of me. I'm like, oh, there goes that one. Oh, there goes that one. Let's go. So, uh, what was your first track bike?
Oh, that was a 2012 Triumph Speed Triple R.
Nice.
So not ideal, right? I put clip-ons on it to make the ergos work a little bit better, because I feel the tall bar is kind of tough to get down and inside the bike a little bit. But yeah, I did what I could. But back then I was a street rider, right? So I had one bike, and that was kind of dual purpose at the time. And I kind of got a little frustrated with that setup, and I got a Daytona 675 after that, and that was the bike I started racing on. So
Yeah, yeah. It's my first bike was a 1996 ZX6R, and then I was just like you. It was my street bike and slash my race bike, right? It was
yeah,
it did double duties. I put like 101,000 miles on it before I threw a rod in the motor.
wow,
Um, and then I had a 92 F3 that I got for another track bike, race bike. It come with a spare motor and a spare frame. And my buddy out here in Virginia had a ZX6R, and this was when eBay was taking off. So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna part the bike out." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Dude, I need the motor, right?" He's like, "Well, what you got to trade?" I was like, "I'll send you an F2 frame with a clean title." So we swapped, and the motor had like 5,900 miles on it. So I was like, "Yes, cha-ching!" Threw that bad boy in, and the guy, I mean, it got sold a bunch, but a buddy of mine ends up, he owns it. He lives about 3.5 hours away. I'm trying to talk him into let me buy it back. Please let me have my first bike back, right? How cool would
nice.
that be?
That would be killer.
That would be killer, man. So getting into track days, what after that, of course, we get a race license, but what pursued you to really start getting into racing?
Yeah, that really didn't evolve until maybe 5.5 years ago when I moved here to California. I was just doing a lot of track days. I kind of dabbled in that GP Moto series and maybe a mock race here and there when it was offered, but that was honestly about it on the East Coast. So I would say, it wasn't until just 5 years ago where the racing really started growing for me, and my program started evolving. So I came out here and I got set up with Augie at Fun Track Days as an instructor, and right into being involved with the AFM, the local racing organization. And man, it's just spun up from there. But all these guys out here are in the AFM, and it's just amazing, the community that we have out here. So instantly knew I wanted to be a part of that, and did the new racer school, got the race license in 2023, and that just started this snowball that we're in right now.
I love it, man. I love it. I want to get to we got a good buddy of mine, Tim. What is up, Tim? He has a podcast called the Ducati Dads. You guys should go check it out. He says,
Oh,
"Welcome back,
cool.
brother. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. It feels good to be back. You're actually my first podcast since Daytona, my friend." And then we got, of course, my man Ant Lee, Tippin Racing 6101. He says, "Love you, Jeff."
Oh man, that guy's awesome. I love Antley. He's always, super positive. He got me set up with you, so thank you for that. But yeah, man, always a good time to see Antley.
There it is, Racer
There it is.
411, baby. Let's
Mhm.
go. Right. Yeah. Antley's absolutely amazing. Him, and of course, since I'm on that, there we go. Mama
There she
Alicia had
is,
them on.
Mama.
Let's go.
Yeah, both
Yeah,
amazing people.
it's the same beautiful circus around the United States as it is around the world. I was fortunate enough. I got to opportunity to go to BSB in 23, which is my favorite production racing in the world. It's fucking absolutely proper mega, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's the same. It's the same. The energy's a little bit different. It was absolutely packed from they raced. See, it was a bank holiday is what they called it. So I remember. So it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What was that? The actual race weekend. Then they had
Okay.
Thursday was a track day. They had cars and bikes on the track at Cadwell. But when you showed up on Thursday, I mean on that Friday, the first opening day, no, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That Saturday when the gates opened at 8 a.m., I mean, it was already freaking packed. I was like, holy shit. And it stayed like that through the whole weekend. And every time everybody went out, people would come out. I mean, the crowd just went absolutely ballistic. It was definitely different.
Yeah.
Than going to a MotoGP event's kind of the same, but it has a different energy and a vibe to it, right?
Right.
Moto America is absolutely amazing too, as well. I love Moto America, right? So,
Yes, sir.
the thing that I love about Moto America and BSB and WSBK is they have an open paddock, right? Basically, you can walk up to anybody and talk to them or whatever. MotoGP is absolutely not like that. Have you been to GP?
Yeah, I went to Austin in 2015. We had a little bit of special access, so that was interesting because we were kind of right on top of the riders coming in and out of the back of the garages. But yeah, no, it's definitely different. Even if you go to Supercross, that's different too. That's a little more closed off. But one thing I've always liked about the Moto America paddock is you can get right to the riders, right to the crews. They're happy to talk to you and engage with you, and I just think that's the greatest, especially for just the normal fans that are coming to watch that maybe don't ride motorcycles and don't fully get it or what have you. I think that level of engagement can really keep them involved with the sport, which I think is a great thing.
I love it how you say the normal fans, right? Like we're not normal fans. Absolutely not. We're just fed up with it.
Yeah.
We're proper mega fans.
Yeah, I guess the non motorcycle riding fans, if they're out there.
I love it. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, getting involved in coaching, and let me ask you this: do you get the same satisfaction coaching as you do racing yourself?
No, it's more for sure, absolutely more. I mean, I talked about it with LGB from CRA the other day. We are going back and forth about the why, right? And for me, it's about kind of giving back to this community that's given me so much. And I know a lot of us talk about that. And just for me, seeing other people have their successes and their wins, it's like I don't even have to set a tire on the track to feel good that weekend. Watching some of these people do their best, win a race, even finish fifth and be just stoked about it or whatever their situation is. But I think when you're coaching from my standpoint is you're working with somebody, they're receptive, they're executing what you're giving them for direction, and then there's a smile on the face and the light bulb's going on and you see this thing evolve and you see what it's doing for them. Like that's just one of the best feelings there is, I think. So
110%. It's seeing somebody else growth in them and being happy about it is just it's kind of an unexplainable happiness you feel, right? It's hard to put in words and describe. I've coaching not properly at a track, but my friends that never rode before, right? I got them into riding and taught them how to ride, and before you know it, they're first through sixth gear around the neighborhood just laughing inside their helmet, and I'm like, let's go, right? And yeah, it was the greatest feeling in the world. But I assume it's basically kind of what you feel out there too as well. It's giving back, like you said, to the sport that's given you everything your whole life. That's why I do what I do. It's an amazing feeling for sure. Absolutely, it is.
absolutely.
So you currently racing a ZX6R, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I just sold the ZX6R, and tomorrow,
Breaking news! Here we go.
yeah, here we go. Here's the first bit of news, right? Tomorrow, I'm running down to PCP Motorsports in Sacramento, and I'm picking up a brand new 2026 ZX10R. And so that's going to be the build for this season. And yeah, we're hoping to do some good things on it. So
I love it. Why the ZX10?
I just want to step up a class and come into a new challenge. They made a lot of improvements on the bike with the aerodynamics and some of the geometry and damping changes. So I just want to see what it's all about. I had the 21 when it came out, and I had the 21 ZX6 at the same time kind of evaluating which one I wanted to do. So I stayed with the super sport for a few years, and now I want to step up, new challenge, and see what it's like to get on those big bikes and let them rip.
I love it, man. Let it rip, right? And then, of course, along with getting on a big bike, all the electronics come into play too, as well, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's going to be an interesting thing because last weekend with CRA was my first time out, and I borrowed an R1 from a teammate. And yeah, it's a learning curve to trust that stuff. So we're gonna do some more testing so I can wrap my head around that. But I'm starting to get a feel for entries and some mid corner speed like I was used to. So that's coming in. So I know with the people I have helping me that we'll be able to look at some data, which that's been another just huge thing lately. But we'll be able to make some big improvements pretty quick from what we're able to do from
yeah,
this
right.
past.
You're looking at all these squiggly lines. You're like, okay, what's what, doctor? What am I looking at, right? And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
this and this and this and this. Basically, he's saying, you suck, you suck, you suck, and you suck, right? Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's opened up so much more. I work with Motological Christian Cepeda, and he's been doing a lot of hard work studying and getting that program together. But last year I didn't know it, but I guess myself and my teammate Alex Ricci, we were kind of the guinea pigs, right? Not the crash test dummies, so maybe just the test dummies, right? But Christian ran us through the program without us knowing it, and turned it on this year into Motological. But just some of the stuff that he can see and break down in it, and then verbalize it in a way that you can understand. You start visualizing, and you kind of know what to do going into the next session and attack it, and you aim to make that progress, and then it's just okay, boom, we're doing that, and now what's the next thing and the next thing, and it just keeps improving and improving. And I can't speak highly enough about being able to leverage this data to make that level of improvement just unbelievable.
It's definitely a black science when it comes to that, right? The full understanding and then how to tune the bike. And nowadays, you say the word carburetor, and everybody's like, what's a carburetor, right? It's those days are long gone, my friend. But it's getting to the whole electronical side of thing. You're right. It's trying to wrap your mind around just doing this and letting the electronics sort itself out versus the natural feel, so to speak, right? Trusting yourself to handle the situation the
Yeah,
best as you
exactly.
can anyway. But dude, listen, I'll pump for you. I think it's a great move. I think it's a great thing, getting into the whole electronic side. And then when you go out there and you ride and you come back in and you tell whoever your data guy is, oh, dude, the front's doing this, the rear's doing this. He could look at the data and see if you're pretty accurate in what you're saying versus what the bike's actually telling what it's doing versus what you're saying. That's what I've
Yeah,
found.
I mean, another great thing about having him there, and we also work with Mike Canfield from MC Tech. So I mean, we're blessed to have
The legend Mike
the
Canfield.
legend, right? Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Between those two guys, especially where, Christian can give him the feedback from the data, and then it goes to the bike, and I can just rely on doing my thing and going out and riding it, and I don't have to come off doing my own thing, think about what I should change on the bike. I can just talk about the feel and what's working, what's not working, what I like, what I don't like, and those guys just they get it so dialed. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's also helps you free your mind mentally to let you focus what you're doing out there on the track versus coming back in and say, okay, now I got to plug it up and look through the data and do this and do that instead
Yeah.
of whatever routine you have, which we'll talk about getting into focus. Putting on the helmet, going out there, preparing for battle, as I always say, right?
Yeah.
I want to get to a couple of more of these comments. Tim says, thank you for the shout out. Dude, bro, you're welcome. He says, we need to talk about your Daytona experience. We will, my friend. Just towards the end, we'll definitely get to talk about Daytona. Tip and race, and Aunt Lee says, very good feeling. And then John, what is up, John
There he
Righty?
is.
I know that guy. Evening, gents. What's happening? And then he says,
John's amazing. He's
bro,
helped us out a lot in the paddock, whether it's how to do something or even donate a transmission at 11 p.m. at night between days, and we get a swap going. But I can't thank John enough for some of the stuff he's done for the team. in a pinch and whatnot. Just amazing, amazing people.
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. The first time we've been friends for a while, but correct me if I'm wrong, John. The first time me and him met, he'll probably kill me if I get this wrong, was Road Atlanta last year or the year before. Was the first time we actually met in person. I know he moved to North Carolina, so he's not too far from me. But yeah, you're right, John. He was working with Brendan Kelston, which is an absolute weapon on two wheels. Like,
No, the kid's an alien.
yeah,
Silly.
thank you, right? Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that.
I'll tell you this though, if you look deep enough somewhere in race records from last year, there might be a result where Jeff Rose finished ahead of Brendan Kettleson. If you look in the right spot, I'm just saying.
I'm sure you probably got that printout framed on your wall too, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's going up on one of those later, so we'll swap that out.
And then I hope you got his number because I take a picture and text to him. You
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
this?
Yep.
Remember this? I'm coming for you. I love it. We got CC 956 in the house. What's going on, man? He says data doesn't lie.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it does not.
Christian.
Okay. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the show. Thank you for what you do as well. It's as me and Jeff was talking about, it's definitely a black art. So it's suspension, right? It's there's a lot of misinformation out there too. So who do you trust?
Exactly.
You know, especially when you first get into the sport and you're asking all those questions. What should my suspension be? What's your tire pressure? What gearing are you running? Right, and all these things, and yeah, all this good stuff. John says, "Did Brendan crash?" Yeah, we'll get to that. The whole Daytona chat here in here in a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but so you're racing, you're doing coaching. Let me ask you this, Jeff. What are your goals that you want to achieve in racing?
Well, right now, coming off of 2025 with a couple class championships and a top 10, goal would be to repeat some of that, right? And maybe improve that top 10 spot somewhere. So we're going to be changing classes, of course, just because of the bike size, but we'll be running in Formula Pacific this year. And that could mean perhaps there's a top 5 plate, but there's a lot of work to be done. So I'm not going to make any assumptions or claims or anything like that. We're just going to go to work like we proved we can do and see what we can make of it. So, but it should be a really, really good year. From everything we learned last year, everything we did, it just kept proving itself round after round after round. And there were times I couldn't believe it. Just going back to Christian and the team, and like, dude, it worked. It just keeps working. It's just amazing. But that progression was something I didn't see coming. Right, like I said, Alex and I were kind of the test dummies for the program, and I remember struggling in 2024. Like best race result in 2024 was a P6 or something like that. Handfuls of times like running off track, just missing markers, and nothing good was happening. I was really frustrated, and Christian helped me out reset at the end of the year. And one thing I wanted to do was scale things back a little bit. So with the 636 and like the R6, you can make them into what's called a cripple triple. Right, so you can deactivate a cylinder. We did that by shutting off the fuel injector to number 3. So you take a bike, ours had, I think, 125 horse and about 51 foot-pounds of torque, brings it down to about 82 horse, 38 foot-pounds of torque. Well, what that did is it took the power out. So I learned how to leverage the chassis and the strength of the 636, and I was going to add the power back later and return just running it to super sport like normal. And so 2025 is supposed to be a rebuilding year, just for me to learn dynamics and how to handle the bike properly and just improve myself. But when we started getting into the data, even early in the season, things were coming. And it was kind of easy in a way because the data said this, and we'll make a change in that direction and work on what I'm doing on the bike. And it just kept coming, and I was right there, right? But being down on power, now it's like, we need power, but I'm not going to throw a ton of money into the bike, because it's just going to change back. But we get into, I think it was entering round 4 last year, and there was a Thursday and a Friday track day leading into the weekend with Volant, Vauvert, and Fun Track days. And so that Thursday, Christian put me on his Aprilia RS 660. And I thought he just wanted me to ride it and get a setup feel for it because he was recovering from a crash. So I think he was still in like a walking boot. So I just think, all right, he's going to want his bike set up for when he's ready. So I'm going to ride it. I'm going to give him feedback and he's going to set it up for himself. Cool. So I rode it twice on Thursday, gave him some thoughts on what it was doing well, what it wasn't doing quite so well. And little did I know that overnight he changed the spring rates, he changed the shock length, he changed like wholesale changes to this thing. And so we get into Friday, last session of the day. It's hot. I was coaching people all day, double sessions most of the day, gassed out. He's like, hey, I need you to ride the bike again. I made some changes based on what you said. I said, dude, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm tired. You can't see through turn 8 because of the sun is down right in your face. And I don't know if it's a good idea right now. He said, well, even if you go slower, I'll be able to piece together the data and just know if the changes put things in the right direction. So go out there. I mean, I'm like 5 miles an hour off in some of the key corners and still went 2 seconds faster than before. And it was like, okay, cool. So wrap up for the day, getting some water, hanging out for a bit. And he's like, listen, I really think if you ride the Aprilia as well as you've been riding your bike and you apply these things that we've been doing, like you'll be in the hunt. I said, okay, but that's a big order to ride somebody else's bike, right? And so I thought about it. It wasn't like an instant, yeah, dude, let's do it. I thought about it for a little bit, and it made sense what he was saying. And then we get that bike further dialed in for me with ergonomics, and go into Saturday entered on that bike. And we have 6 races remaining in the season, so 3 that weekend, 3 in round 5, and we won all 6 of them straight out. It was crazy, and just doing those debriefs every time from the data and making the adjustments and making the changes. And I think the great thing about the way that Christian does it is he's a rider and he's an instructor too, right? So he has that on-track experience, and we'll talk about things like bike placement and lean angle. And a really specific example, turn 8 at Thunderhill East it's a pretty fast corner. Brendan's doing it at like 103 miles an hour at the slow point of this corner. And I got to the point on the Aprilia, I was hitting it at 99.4 to 99.8. But Christian's like, you're carrying 61 degrees of lean angle through there. Like that's a sketchy place to be, And I said, yeah, I know. There's times I'm hitting the foot peg and whatever. And we figured out that it's a process of how I'm setting up 2 corners before that. And so I focused on getting the bike upright through 8 more, but it was a product of getting my body off in a better setup before that. I roll through turn 8, the next session out 5 degrees less at 101.2 miles an hour. And it was like easy, but those are the things that are coming out of what we're looking at and what we're seeing and how we're making changes on the fly based on specific data points. And it keeps blowing my mind, and it still does. I mean, even this past weekend, there was a couple of things that are just like, this is awesome.
I love it. I can't wait for next year. I mean, this year, right? When you pick up the 10 and yeah, it's always good to see those progressions. It's also good to have those key valuable team players at your side too, right?
I'm blessed with that. I mean, between the rest of the turn 3 racing crew and having Christian at Motological, and now we got Line of Freedom Racing coming on as kind of like a satellite program with a couple more racers. That's another reason I love doing it, is because of all those guys that we've surrounded ourselves with, and we support each other. And we've brought Alex to Moto America Super Sport, and man, we've been through crashes and swapping motors overnight and just bizarre stuff going on, and it's throwing the kitchen sink at the thing and getting it done, for whatever we can achieve. It's just been incredible. I don't know how else to describe it.
It's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
110% beautiful journey, my man. It's absolutely amazing. John says, by the way, I love Jeff and Alex dearly. Great guys.
Thank you, John. Same to you, buddy. We miss you
Absolutely.
out here, man. Come on back and visit or something.
Yeah, you need to, John. Go back and visit, but you can't go back. You got to
Yeah,
stay on the East Coast
we're
with
still
me.
breaking stuff, John. Come on.
We need your help. That's what he's saying. Come on out.
Yeah.
Seth, what is welcome to the podcast? Excited. He says excited to see you in FP this year, Jeff.
Yeah, Seth is a man too. He's a new instructor with us at Fun Track Days, and he's going to be in his first expert season this year. Also aboard the Aprilia RS 660. So I'm excited to see what Seth does this year too, because I know he's someone that's been focused on his program and making a lot of constant improvements. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do, dicing it up with the experts this year for sure.
Awesome. I love it, man. Good luck, Seth. I hope you achieve all your goals this season, my friend. And then we got DMN Theo. I hope I said that right. He says, "Hi, Jeff. That was a fun weekend."
Yeah, no, that's Dylan. He's the owner of Volant Viver. So I'm fortunate. I am fortunate where he brought me on his staff, and yeah, we had an incredible weekend. I mean, he and Augie both really helped me out towards the end of the season, making sure we finished strong and that we were there to do what we could do. So I have a debt of gratitude to both of those guys for making the program happen.
I love it, man. I love it. The beautiful circus, right? And the friends and family you meet. There's nothing like it in the
Oh, yeah.
world. We got Cody Hayes, 3115. What's happening? Cody says, "Sup, Jeff. Justin will be the crash test dummy."
Oh man, yeah. So that refers to an incident that happened this weekend. Speaking of Line of Freedom Racing, so Justin took out Cody's 636 down to the circuit at Buttonwillow, and there was an unfortunate incident in turn 4. So we have a bike to fix up. But the good thing is, with a bunch of the team running the 636, there's a lot of spares kicking around. So we'll get the thing straight and we'll get it running again and get it back and ready for Cody. But no, it's just another example of teammates helping teammates and making sure people are out there so they can run their program and achieve their results and keep developing. So it's good.
110%, right? Nobody wants to win because your competition just can't make the race, right? You want to that's one thing about our paddock and our sport too, is everybody helps everybody out, right? It's so unique in that way too as well. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It absolutely is. Christian says, "I appreciate the recognition, but it's the riders on the bike that can make the adjustment when they're already going full gas."
Yeah, it takes the person on the sidelines for that push and that vote of confidence. Like, this can be done
Yep.
in this way. So regardless, it's not an individual effort by any means. You know?
It takes a village to raise a child. Also takes a village to raise a racer, right? There's so many. I often say I refer to as the important pieces of the puzzle, right? You got to have those important pieces lined up in place to help you progress and get further along. It's like me and a buddy of mine was talking. Like, he's been racing Moto America for a while, basically on his own program. He needs to make that next step, but in order to make it happen, he's got to make that next step to a team, right?
Yeah.
To make that next step up and fulfill his goal. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope it works out, right? I really do. But again, it's those puzzle pieces that need to fall into place in order for you to make that transition or make that next step, whatever it is, transition from one bike to the other, one class to the other, amateur to, novice to expert and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a village, right? I remember going out there and it was just me and a buddy of mine, right? I didn't have no tent. I didn't have none of that, right? I had like nothing, a cooler full of water, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now it's full tent. Yeah, all that good stuff. Compressor, the whole 9, generators.
It's crazy. I was talking to an old buddy of mine from the East Coast. He's been a really good friend and mentor to me, but we joked how the first track days you're doing, you chuck the bike in the bed of the truck and whatever you can fit and you go. And then you get a little utility trailer and then that thing's full of stuff. And then you get a toy hauler and that thing's full of stuff and more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And before you know it, like, our setup right now can go to 120 feet of frontage with the canopies that we have and as many riders as we need to put in there, and like a hospitality area if we want to. It's insane.
It is insane. It's funny when you look back in the days, like you said, and then you're like, I'll just sleep in the truck,
Yeah,
right, or wherever it is, and then you pile more shit. And then when you first get your trailer, you got a little blow up mattress, whatever, in the back, and the next thing you know, it's I can't even sleep here. I'm back sleeping in the truck, right? Or then one time we rented a U-Haul. We think we're gonna be slick. Oh, we'll just rent this big U-Haul. We have plenty of room to sleep. Yeah, that's not the case at all. We had to sleep in the U-Haul, sitting up. I had to lean against the window like this, wake up, neck hurts, back hurts. Like, oh my God, this sucks. Been there, right? But those are the dues you pay. Love it, man. That's the
exactly.
journey. That's part of the beautiful journey, you know? So last season you had mentioned you won a couple championships, man. Congratulations. One thing I want to ask you, man, what was it like to tell us the feelings of that first win you did?
Um, first, well, the first race win was actually at round one. I think it was one of the first races, um, and that was really good because it took. I feel like in a way it took pressure off. Like we got a win, right? So while it was a rebuilding year, I mean, you're always going to try to be competitive and do the best you can. So that felt good. It was like, okay, there's possibilities here, but I know what I want to focus on. And then as the season evolved and it became a thing, like in round four and round five, when we saw the points changing and where we were and what the potential was if this happens and this happens and this happens, right? And you try to visualize it and you try to do what you can to make it happen and it starts falling together. You just want that wave to continue, right? So it's you're just putting things into it that maybe you didn't know you had from an effort standpoint or what have you. But um, you know, just getting those wins when we switched the bike to as the way it came on with a little bit less effort actually was just tremendous. And then you have drive, right? You can repeat it based on how that feeling was and you just go out and keep doing it and you get more information from the team or whatever it is. And man, that was a rush. That was a real rush because then you're just trying to ride that thing into the next round and keep it going. Take nothing for granted, right? You still got to show up and do the thing, but oh, that was crazy. That was a really, really good feeling.
I love it, man. And so you got a lot of momentum coming in this year. Does that add any extra pressure on your back coming in on a new season, new bike?
Maybe to a degree. I feel like for me, I deal with pressure pretty well. There's not a lot of things that I let get in my head really. Try to be level headed and cool and calm and in the moment. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of variables. You're talking about doubling the power from where we were at, right? And then all
Yeah.
the electronics and trying to get a setup in it in short time and get it out on the grid, right? So I don't have to borrow the other bike for as many rounds, right? So yeah, there's going to be a challenge there. I look at it like a challenge. I don't look at it as something that's putting pressure on. And I like challenges, trying to dissect it and make it work. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too, right? I'm looking for you to be like, dude, I just won my first race. Be like, let's go, bro. Yes, I knew you could do it. I knew you will do it, right? Yes.
Thank you.
So coming into a weekend, how do you prepare as I call for battle? Do you have a certain routine you do?
I just try to make sure I've fed myself appropriately, stayed hydrated, and for me, I do a lot of visualization. So I do a lot of in my head race scenarios, right? So in that 700 twins class last year, mainly I was battling against Dave Moss and Luke Keisterman, right? So I'd literally picture on track scenarios of things happening, whether I'm behind and I have to make a pass or I'm in the lead. What do I have to do to maintain it? And I just get in my head about those things and start picturing it and visualizing it. But as far as a pre-race routine or something, I'm just trying to keep it level, keep it easy, keep it light, not overthink anything at that point. You know what has to be done, you know who you're up against and you know the machine that you have. So for me, just almost kind of blank things out in a way and then get out there and do the best I can, see what presents itself and work with that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Do you don't like put your left boot on before your right boot and see any
oh
superstitions or
no,
anything?
yeah. It's
He said, "Yeah."
that's there. I think it's right boot first. And there's times I've gone to put on the left boot. I'm like, something's wrong. Start over. You know?
Reset. I gotta walk out the door and come back in, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Sit back down in my chair and do it all over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I think it's right boot first, but it's left glove first. And I don't
I,
know why that is, but it's just that way.
it's all good. We all have our little unique routines, right? And sometimes we don't realize we're doing it until somebody watches and be like, "Do you realize you're doing this?" You're like, "No." You're like, "I took a video. Watch yourself." And you're like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing that." But yeah. So let me ask you this: being friends, but also having the same friends as competitors, is it difficult for you to separate the two when you're on track?
No, because on track for me, it's I got to come first. So you're just in my way. Move,
Love
move,
it.
move. We gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Move, move out of the way. I'm gonna take it. It doesn't matter who you are. If I know you, if I don't know you, you're just an object that's gonna be in my way, and I need to get you behind me. So
As fast
we
as
sprint back there
possible.
and hug it out when it's done. But
That's it.
I'm
That's
gonna
it.
take the spot if I can get the spot.
There's some dogs and burgers on the grill and call it a day.
Yep.
Try again tomorrow. Catch me if you can. I love it. John says, sleep in the truck. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Yeah, yeah, me too, buddy. Absolutely. And then Aunt Lee Terry says, and then you become a Dunlop dealer. Yeah. So now you're carrying around a tire changing machine and a shit ton of tires.
I've seen him.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. I love his hair. His hair's like
Yeah.
freaking awesome. Absolutely
You could fit more
amazing.
tires in the truck if you cut the hair back.
At least 3 or 4 up front for sure. Oh my god, that is hilarious. So 2026, new bike, new season, man. I'm super pumped for you. It's whatever visions and goals you have, Jeff, man. I hope you achieve them 10 times over.
I
110%.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. No problem. We're definitely gonna have to sit back down and do a part two.
Yeah.
We'll do a mid-season recap. I mean, catch up, and then we'll do an end of the year, and you can tell us all the championships you won and all the cool new data stuff you learned, and that's probably, I mean, to me, is an excitement getting into something and actually learning the electrical side of things on a bike, right? What does this
Yeah.
and what does that, and actually going out there and riding it, and coming back in and telling somebody, and they're like, "Yeah." Like I said earlier, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, right? And be like, okay, what I got to do better, right? Okay, this, and you go out there, and that gives you a goal to work on. What I always do is when I go out, I always practice on one thing, whether it's break in, corner entry, exit, mid corner, roll speed, whatever it is, body position. I focus on that, and I go out there and do it. I kind of, in my mind, it's like muscle memory. I like to shoot a lot too, right? So the whole thing about shooting and getting good is the whole muscle memory. So you're not concentrating on looking down and drawing the gun and all that good stuff that goes into it. You just more practice, repetition, repetition,
Yeah.
repetition. So how do you train during the off season?
I'm the worst. I got to tell you, I'm the worst, man. I mean, the first biggest thing for me is diet. So I'm on a lot better plan this year. Last year, I mean, I think I started the season at 180 pounds, got to 170 right before round one, mid-season 186 again. I'm not even fitting in my custom rider gear suit at that point. I put on another suit, and Tony's calling me asking what's going on, but got down to 163 by the end of it, and ballooned up again in the holidays. But this year, all year, I've been hovering right at that like 165 mark, which I think is a fairly good spot to be. I just gotta get some more seat time on the bigger bike, and make sure that I'm ready to handle a little bit extra weight and some extra acceleration forces and things like that. So I do want to take that more seriously, but I know I need to work on a little bit more of a fitness program coming up here. So that's something we're going to ramp up a little bit as the season comes on.
Yeah, it's super important. I've told the story many times. I was just a fat dude, man. I was like almost 280 pounds and a 40 waist. I'm in a 34. I could probably fit in 33s now because my belt. It's anyway. All by changing my diet, fasting, and listen to what my body was telling me as I was eating foods in portion control. Right now, I mean,
Yeah.
uh, most time me and my wife go out and eat, we just split appetizer. What kind of appetizer you want? Well, let's just split that, or we'll split a burger or whatever. So and listening, like I said, when I'd eat certain foods, my nose might get stopped up, or I'd have like a weird feeling, or I start itching. It's because my body was having a reaction to something that was in there. Then you have to figure out what it is and eliminate it to the best you can, right?
Yeah.
So it's all that was at what I'm trying to say is I was learning me because I was finally listening to me, and
Yeah,
that
you gotta
really
listen to
helped
your
me a
body,
lot.
right? I mean, it's gonna
Yeah,
have those reactions. If you're putting garbage in, it's garbage out. So
100%.
gotta treat yourself right first.
It's easy to fall in that, working full time, then rushing home. Kid gets home from school, or he's already home, or she before you are, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta cook dinner." And it's easier to throw, all that processed shit. Let's just heat it up real
Yeah,
quick, and it's good because a lot of it is good. I'm not gonna lie, right? But also with saying all that, what helped me was again portion control. But I started making my own homemade salad dressings and not buying the store brands, and eating a lot more vegetables, and uh doing kind of like the carnivore diet too as well. I
yeah,
still eat salads too, but I eat a whole lot more meats. Um, yeah, all that good stuff. So it is important. You're right, and you tell your energy levels go up. And also, I incorporated a lot of ice baths, so I got into that too pretty heavy.
okay.
Do you do ice baths?
No, I haven't been doing that. I haven't tried it.
You need to. It's absolutely amazing. For real, it's good shit, dude. I freaking
Right.
love it, man. John says, and I agree with John. Bring back the tire wars. Pete tires for the win. Pirelli, let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I would love to see tire wars back. John says Tony will call you out on that.
Oh, for
Not
sure.
fitting in your
Yeah.
rider gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing?" Well, I taped up the Alpine Star symbols and I wrote rider on it. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, I straight up told him, I was like, I'm too fat to fit in it right now, but I got a plan. So,
I
you
got a
know,
plan. I got a
gotta
backup
be
plan.
honest.
At least you told him, right?
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. So I want to talk a little bit about Daytona, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Obviously, you said you watched the race. I was there. It was, listen, it was a proper mega weekend as it always is. Josh did what Heron always does, right?
He did the thing again.
Did it again. So first time a rider I think's done a four-peat, which is insane.
Yeah, I think if he does one more, he's the winningest, right?
Miguel and I think has five. I think Scott Russell's got five off the top of my head, but I don't think. Yeah, I think he'll tie them for that. So, but if he wins five in a row, yeah, absolutely. Which is fucking crazy, man.
I mean, he
That's
could do it. It's been treating him well when he goes, you know. Just things are lining up every time he shows up there. So I think it's on the table.
I do too. I think that and then of course, PJ looked really good too there
Oh
towards the
man,
end. Dude, I
I was
was like,
gutted for that dude, man.
boo. He had it. I mean, he had it. It just
Yeah,
front went out and he went sliding and the rider behind him freaking tucked the front because he seen PJ tuck the front. And I was like, what are you doing?
yeah,
No, you had it, right? Like you freaking had it.
yeah.
And then Josh Aaron come out
Brutal.
and freaking nailed the cameraman. I was like, oh, I was sitting in the media center watching. I was like, oh shit, did you guys see that? Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Uh big shout out to Kayla, first woman in history.
seriously, she's been working so hard. We had the pleasure of hosting her in our pit at our Laguna Fun Track Days day, and just her and David are just great people. They were helping us with our bikes and stuff like that. Like I came off track and Kayla catches the bike. I'm like, what is going on right now? But no, I know she's been working hard. Just great people, and if you watch her journey, I mean, there's no way you can't be just stoked for that girl for what she's put into it, and regardless of male, female, doesn't matter. I mean, that's an accomplishment. But was she 18 years old or something like that? That's
Yeah,
insane to me
I think
too.
so. Yeah,
So good for her,
she's
man.
I'm super pumped. I'm good friends with her. Actually, my son makes her Lego butterfly knives and gives them to me to take to her
Nice.
when he don't show up to the race. But I brought her one, her new one for this season, and gave it to her before the weekend started. And when I handed it to her, I was like, "Here, Kayla, here's your new butterfly knife. Rossi, it says hi, and it's your good luck, but it's your good luck butterfly knife." She's like, "Thank you, blah blah blah." She ends up getting a podium. So when I did her interview after she comes off the media for the media debrief, I was like, I told you that butterfly knife. So she's like, I need one for every race. I come home. I told Rossi, I was like, you better get busy. You better start making more butterfly knives for Kayla. So yeah, I mean, I was super pumped. I was in there with my girl, Angela from Canada. She races too, Angela Hibba, and we were sitting in the media room. And when she was out there in the victory lane, and she started tearing up, man, I started crying. And I was like, she's making me cry. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was. Listen, it was a fantastic weekend. My buddy Andrew Way did really good. He had a couple motor issues. Started last in the Twins Cup, ended up seventh, bro. Like that's scooting, right? Big shout out to Caden
Yeah.
Brown too. His first Daytona 200, official Daytona 200. He did really good too as well. So yeah, man, it was a great weekend for sure. Ryder Davis, I can't forget, dude.
Yeah, he
Ninth
was up
place,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
In ninth, top 10, your first Daytona.
Yeah,
Top 10.
that's incredible, man. I mean, when you look at, I mean, I think what was it? There's only 11 riders on the lead lap at the end or something like that. But I mean, that's pretty shallow. But I mean, he was right there. I mean, I even checked with my guys. I was like, that's Ryder, right? And they're like, yeah. Man, he's going good right now.
He's fast, dude. Ryder. Dude, he's such a deep breaker. I remember at Azra when I was commentating with Kenny for the Race of Champions, and I was in hot pit and I'm watching him come, and I could look down and I see him, and dude, he's killing it in turn one. He's super fast. He's definitely a future star for sure.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Chris Parrish. You're right, John. I was gonna say Chris Parrish,
yeah.
old man Chris Parrish. Yeah, Ghetto Customs. I got his shirt, but it's kind of blocked right now. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, man, put it on pole, man. It's he ended up fifth in one race.
I forget where he ended up, but that pole, I mean, my guys were chatting it up on that. Like, hey, man, the old man did it. And you're like, what are you talking about? Look it up. Parrish is right there at the top. All right, man, there's hope for us old guys. We could do this, you know?
Hey, man, age is just enough. Dude, look at Jeremy McWilliams.
Yeah.
Look at John McGinnis. I mean, it's who says you can't?
Yeah,
the only person that says you can is you.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Facts, right? So John said, yeah, had a motor issue in race two. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely he did. But dude, and then my buddy Isaac Woodworth, can't forget about him, dude. P3 started in the third position. Dude, super pumped for that, man. He's super fast too. Of course, my buddy Matthew Chapin, second in the second race. I think seventh in the first race or sixth. Still getting the grips with the new team and the new bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, DeMario, first 200, he did good. I mean, the list goes on. I think this year was the most stacked class we've had in the 200 in a long, long time. The only person who was missing out there was Brandon Posh.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad
Danny
he got a ride, though. I mean,
me too.
You know, I know there's some things going on, but to see him back, that's going to be huge. And I think he'll be in the mix, you know what I mean? And it's good to have him in there. That whole superbike class is stacking up itself too. So, I mean, you know, like Fonger is going to be hungry to get up there and try to do what he could have done and just put it to those guys. But, you know, you think about Cam being on a V4 now and some of the stuff that I heard he said coming out of testing on just a stock bike with slicks, that's going to be a weapon in his hands. But we'll see. I mean, a lot can happen.
I mean, I've said it since day one. When I found out he signed for Ducati, I was like, this is going to be a problem if he gels with this bike. It's going to be pretty much game over for everybody. Not taking nothing away from any of my other friends that race the Superbike, but you know I'm right. He's going to be an issue, 110%. So, yeah, you're right. Bobby Fong has a lot to prove. I mean, you know, missing out too. What a crazy end of 2025. Cam Bobier winning. I was there at Jersey that weekend, and it was just – yeah, fantastic. And I think not too long after that, I actually sat down and had his dad, Jeff, on the podcast. Yeah, after the Jersey round. I remember when Cam won, I was like, what just happened? Like, what a story. Hollywood couldn't make a better script than that. No way, not in a million years.
Yeah, he's kind of in the shadows in a way, leading into the last couple rounds or the last round at Jersey. And then, man, everything just
All
shifted.
the
And
puzzle
he,
pieces fell into place. All the
yeah,
important puzzle pieces fell in, and racing's got a lot to do with luck too, right? We,
oh, it
we don't
sure
talk
does.
about that very much. It luck has a lot to do with racing. It's not just how fast Jeff is or whatever. Luck's got to be on his side too in order for him to win or whatever the case may be. It's you
Yeah.
got to have that luck. So
No, we had that last year actually. My teammate Alex was running Formula Pacific, and he was pretty much lined up for the number 4 plate. Just finishing where he was finishing in the last round, and I think he came out of the middleweight superbike race, and the bike's overheating. So there's a heat exchanger on the oil filter that has coolant running through it, and there's a neck that's 90 degrees. So that neck split down the back and around the weld on the bottom, and it's just leaking coolant, overheating the bike. And we didn't have a spare, and that's kind of a big project to pull it off of another teammate's bike. So he was kind of writing it off like, well, that's that. We're not going to get a bike fixed, and we're not going to get out there. And I said, dude, go talk to Race Direction. Put your number plates on my bike and just go and circulate. It's not your setup, whatever. Like, even if you're 3 seconds off, get the points and let's see if you get number 5 or something, right? And he's like, no, no. I said, dude, you don't know. Somebody could crash out. Somebody could have a mechanical. Somebody could just pull off because they're not feeling it, and then you're in it again. And I kid you not, what happens? One guy crashes out, one guy's clutch failed, and another pulled off for I don't even know why, right? So I think he thought he can get the number 5 plate, and as a result of all that, he ends up with the number 4 plate. And you're just looking at it like all 3 of those things happened. And he went out and he was running 4 seconds off his pace on my bike, just out there, right? But it worked. But that's luck, man. That was unbelievable.
yeah, I mean, yeah, luck's got to be on your side. You're right. That is unbelievable. Congratulations to him. When you see him, tell him I said so. That's freaking
Well, dude,
amazing. Um, yeah, turn 3 racing 764. That I was gonna say that before Jeff got into it. Slick, yeah, we got to bring Slick back. Slick's got to come back from one more, 110%. Yeah, Danny, he was. I wasn't gonna say a dark horse. He was always up for the win for sure. But yeah, Darren Bender really impressed me. I said it before going into Daytona when I knew he was coming to Moto America. I was like, Darren's definitely going to be a problem. And I think if, especially at Daytona, if he comes in and he does really good, it's definitely going to be a major problem, right? And he was. What's up, homie? You going to bed?
Yeah.
We'll go to bed. I'll come in there when I get done.
Oh, I thought that was a bunch of cats. I'm going to say, what?
No, that's my, yeah. You gonna say hi to Jeff Rossi?
Hi.
what's up, Rossi? How are you?
He said, "How are you?" He said, "Good. I'm getting ready to go lay down and go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I got to go to school."
Yeah. And if I do good, my mom's going to buy me some Apex Legends coins.
Yeah, him and his buddies play Apex.
I don't crack that in
So,
bro.
He's all that good. So John says, "What's up, Rossi?
What's good, bro?
What's good, bro?"
My settings are so cracked, bro. I shoot with
That's
Y.
hilarious.
I shoot with Y.
But yeah, you better listen to your mom.
Yeah, well, I'm just coming here to say good night because
All
you're
right.
such a bum and you're on a podcast at 9 o'clock at the night.
I'm a bum because I'm on a podcast at night. Okay.
This blanket.
All right, you gonna leave me with the Bucky's blanket? I told
No,
you Rossi
it
was
is
gonna come in here.
mine.
You better listen to your mama, boy.
All right,
I can't save you.
bro. All right.
All right.
Mom,
I love you. I'll come in there when I get done.
Okay.
All right. This kid right here. You got kids, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, I have an 8-year-old.
Yeah, so he's 13, and yeah, well, you see what I deal with right here.
What?
But stop doing that in my microphone, boy. You're gonna be in trouble. Hey, shut my door, Rossi. Thank you. John says, "Love the Bucky's blanket, bro." Yeah,
Yeah.
I picked it up on the way back from Daytona for sure. But anyway, what I was saying, coming in, once I seen Darren Bender's sector times, I think it was qualifying 1. I was like, yeah, he's here. Like, this is definitely going to be an issue. I think this season coming in, man, it's again stat class in all the categories. It's going to be a great year in Moto America this year for sure.
No, I really will be for sure.
110%. John says, Demario though taking out Riston Grigg, that was hairball. I mean, it's part of racing. It happens. Everybody makes mistakes. My boy Riston, yeah, he's it's another one that's super super fast. His dad Steve Grigg grew up racing. I remember I met Steve. I think it was in Phoenix and at VRR. He was racing the Muzzy Raptor, and I love that bike. I still love that's one of my um, dream bikes right there is a Muzzy Raptor. Love to have one.
Nice.
But yeah, Riston, second year on the same team, so it's definitely going to be an interesting year all the way around for sure. Hunter, do you watch BSB or MotoGP or any of that too?
I'll watch MotoGP. It's on one of the Samsung channels, so I mean, I'll just have it on in the background sometimes. But I do want to start watching that this year, so I know I got a little catching up to do already. But I want to pay more attention this year because I just watched some of my friends talking about it already, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot going on all year. So I think this season will be a good one to watch MotoGP and pay close attention.
Yeah, I mean, with Top Rack, showing up from Superbike and all that stuff, it's definitely going to be an interesting year because it's the last year of the thousands. Next year they're going to 850s and all these rumors. Quattararo going to Honda and Martin going to Yamaha, and then we got Pecco going to Aprilia. I mean, it's going to be exciting for sure in 2027, but 2026 is just kind of an odd year, right? Kind of like when we transitioned from the 500s to the four strokes back in 2001. It was kind of that odd kind of transition year.
Yeah.
But this one's going to be a little bit different because it's not really a transition. It's just heads on in. I think a lot of people, at least from that I've been hearing, are scared that it's going to be like it was in the 800s where one team just figures it out and just miles ahead like Ducati was back in the day in 07.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be that way. My whole thing was with all these electronics, like I get it. Do away with the rod height, like that's just gay, right? Do away with that shit. In some of the aero, make the tire shittier. Because we're getting to a point, dude. Jeff, seriously, we're going to get to a point, man, where these bikes are just going to be so fast. What's cheaper? Change the speed of the bikes or build new racetracks?
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. I mean, tires are such a critical component, right? I mean, that's the rider's one contact point, no matter what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to change at this point? If you do take away some of the assists, you do make it more of a rider's championship. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting the next couple of years of that to see how people adapt. Right, you'll figure out who the riders that adapt best will be, and the teams. There's a lot on the teams to figure out what they can do within that new rules package too, right? Yep. Because some of the evolution I think we've seen of the aerodynamic changes and those components put on the bike are a matter of people interpreting the rules and saying, okay, well, this is defined this way, so that means we could do this, right? And there's going to be another element of that going on with the new rules coming up the next couple of years.
Oh, 100%. Again, I mean, that's the cheapest way to do it. Just make slower tires, straight up, right? The bike, dude, the cream of the crop's still going to rise to the top. I don't give a shit what you put them on. You can put them on fucking mopeds and they're still going to win, right? So they're going to figure it out. If you make the tires crappier or it's 10 seconds a lap slower, guess what? The bikes go slower. Therefore, the tracks are safer again. Therefore, we can go to more tracks. Right. I'm just scared that in the future, again, we're just getting to a point to where, especially in MotoGP, they're so even do we need 250 horsepower on a motorcycle? Yeah. Realistically, right? When you show up on the weekend, you're not riding 250 horsepower. You're detuning the bike so you can put all the power down just to make those lap times. So why do we need 225 horsepower? It's cool. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, right? It's cool.
Cool as hell, yeah.
But do you actually need it to achieve those lap times?
No, I think it's a matter of who can manage it best, right? So you could go. I could go either way on it.
Right,
it'd be fun to give them 50 horsepower and see who can roll.
Let's go.
It'd be fun to give them 350 and see who can keep the thing upright out of a wall.
Or just go to the TT.
Yeah.
Do you watch the TT?
Yeah, I've watched it in the past. It's just absolute insanity. When you get MotoGP riders showing up saying it's ludicrous what they're doing, I mean that has to say something to you.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the TT, BSB, and then everything else below it. Dude, it's just, yeah, we said it earlier, aliens, right? When we use that with Mark Marquez about, dude, the TT riders, the guys and the girls that do that, they're the true aliens of racing because they can do the TT and they can do short circuits.
Yeah.
There's not very many people that do short circuits that go to the TT and love the TT, right? They're the true aliens. Let's see. Turn 3 Racing 764 says thoughts on Light Fighter pulling out of the weekend. Lots of talent testing for them. Curious to see how that plans out for them this season. Listen, yeah, I'm good friends with everybody about Orange Cat. They had some issues with the bike. Again, an electric motorcycle coming in. Daytona is such a unique track anyway. Nothing from Daytona is going to transfer over to pretty much any other track we go to in America, much less the world, right? So it has different, I don't want to say different stresses on bikes. It just really puts the bikes to the test, right? At 56 laps, 57 laps, 200 miles.
Yeah.
But they had some thermal issues. Yeah, they did. There was overheating.
Yeah.
From my understanding, it wasn't the actual battery. It was the motor part of the bike. So,
yeah, that's what I was hearing about too, is that,
yeah.
it's not necessarily a race distance thing, but the thing about Daytona, like you said, is there's so many just flat out for extended periods of time. Whereas maybe a normal road course, you're kind of on it for a few seconds at a time. It drops out for a corner, on it, off it. So maybe it has a chance to kind of catch up with some cooling, but I think the biggest thing was the heat management, so they don't start destroying the motors and they can run the whole season. So it's probably a good call in the end, and maybe it's a rider safety standpoint thing too. If there's any other things that can come from having too high heat going on, making sure the riders are going to be okay too. But probably a smart decision for the long term to make it through the season without using up a ton of resources.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Daytona's the only track. I think it's 23 seconds wide open each lap or some insane. I mean, it's just insane when you think about it, right? Like I'm 30 seconds almost wide open the whole time. Let's go. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Let's see. John says, speaking of the TT, how about Davey Todd? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Davey Todd had an unfortunate crash twice. The second time he tried to jump off the bike, ended up breaking his tibia on one side and then his femur and his foot on the other leg. So as far as I know it, I don't know if he's on his way back to the UK as of right now. I know he's still in the hospital Tuesday and Wednesday, so he might have already left for the UK. But as soon as I get updates, I'll definitely keep everybody informed because huge fan of Davey Todd for sure. I remember real quick story when I went to BSB, I was like, yes, I get to meet Davey finally, let's go. Wasn't there because he switched teams. He was with Milwaukee BMW at the time, and they didn't something happened, like they didn't have the bike prepared in time or whatever for the Cadwell weekend. So anyway, we're down there. Big shout out to Christy at Kawasaki and my mate Dave Neal from Off Track Podcast out there. They got me a VIP credentials, right? So in at Cadwell, it's different because your main pits, all your household names are down there at the bottom, but in order to get down there, you actually got to physically cross the track, and it's only open certain times, right? So we go down there, and I got to be on the Superbike grid, right? Before the start of the race, I remember my buddy Daniel Parker was standing next to me, and he leans over and whispers in my ear. He says, "You're never going to believe this, Simcoe." And I look at him. I said, "What's that?" He says, "Davey Todd's standing right behind me." And I said, "Shut the fuck up," right? And I turn around, Davey's standing. I was like, "Davey Todd, let's go." And he's like, "Holy shit, who is this guy?" Right? Yeah, it was absolutely proper mega is but good, man. Davey's absolutely. And then of course my buddy, my good mate Danny Webb. If you guys missed that podcast, go check that out. He's out there, MotoGP, BSB, and a lot of endurance racing. He did really good. My mate Gary Johnson from over there, the TT, was there. He did good. He had a lot of issues that weekend too. Peter Hickman finished 4th last year. Had so many crashes over the weekend.
Yeah.
Great weekend though. It was absolutely proper mega. It was John says it's a battery issue, not a motor. Okay. Battery issue. Turn three races. I remember when Tommy Aquino went to BSB. Kid was a great water to watch. Lost him too soon. This is a fact, my friend. 110%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the the I don't want to say the bad side of racing, but listen, it happens, right? And sometimes things happen and we don't understand it at the time. But yeah, you're right. Tommy was an absolute weapon on two wheels. 102. I remember when he went to BSB for sure, right? Yeah, good stuff, man. Dude, I want to transition to the second part of our podcast where we get to know what you do away from all the craziness in the racing. I know you're married and you got kids too, like me. Lady Dragon says, "Good to see you, Jeff. Good chat." Thank you, Lady Dragon 250.
Thank you, Aaron.
Welcome to the podcast.
And heal up
Aaron.
quick.
Heal up. Absolutely heal up. First thing I want to ask you, man, is tell us something we don't know about you at all.
Oh man. Let's see. I started in cars before I was into motorcycles. So I think some people know that, maybe not a lot, but I was just into modifying cars. It started with car stereo stuff and then just throwing, different performance parts on it. As I got older, it evolved into detailing. So I started a side business doing detailing and some, performance builds and things like that. And actually built a couple of Mazda RX-8s for one of my customers for SCCA. And we had some really good success with that, actually. So that was fun. But we did. He won the region and finished 4th nationally in his class after we completed that build together. So that was really fun to be a part of. But yeah, kind of started in the cars and everything, and here we are taking two wheels away and making it lean the right way.
I love it, man. It's that's awesome. Mazda RX-7, that's one of my dream cars too. 95, 94 twin turbo RX-7. Yeah, all day, baby. I'll take it all day long. They sound, and another one of my dream bikes is that Crichton 700.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm not wondering if you get a little, torque twist out of that thing from the rotary.
I don't know, but man, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
So good. Here's something I didn't know about you. Christian says he's got a great Channing Tatum impersonation. we got to see it now, Jeff.
That had to come out at some point, right? Because it's like a daily thing. I get sent memes or whatever, but you know what it is. My name is Jeff. So it's nonstop. This is my life. You just got to deal with it when you're a Jeff.
My name is Jeff. I love it. That's the name of this podcast. My name is Jeff. That's hilarious, dude. Jeff's like, no, it's not. Please don't do that.
I'm surprised it took them that long to throw it in the chat. That's actually a little bit disappointing. It took that long.
I love it. Thank you, Christian. That was absolutely proper mega. What do you do for work, bro?
I'm a district manager for Kawasaki Motors Corp. So I cover the northern half of California. I got 30 dealers out this way. So,
love it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome working for these guys. And when you think about my journey, right, when it started when I was 6 or 7 years old watching chips or whatever, at that point it was like I had to figure out what those bikes were, right? So my dad had like the 1979 Cycle World catalog with all the bikes in it for the year, and I found what they were, and they were Kawasaki, Z1, Z900s, and that was it, man. Like I was obsessed with these bikes, and it's interesting how that whole thing in a way came full circle, to be able to work for them now, and it's been a journey. It's been really good. I've learned a lot, and I'm really fortunate to be a part of it. So yeah, it's fun. Get to be on the road a little bit, not behind a desk all the time, and work with a bunch of great dealers. And we got some killer product, man. So I can't wait to pick up the ZX10 tomorrow.
I can't wait for you, man. You have to send me some pictures. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll do that
for sure. Christian says, I've been saving it. It's worth it. Absolutely it was. Thank you. That was great.
I hope they lived up to the
You did.
expectation.
My name is Jeff. I love it. Oh my God. Oh, what's your worst habit, bro?
Phew. Man, worst
I bet
habit.
your wife would say
Oh, she'll have 4 of them right now. No question.
right off the top of the head. She'd be like, one,
Yeah.
two, three. You'd be like, wait, hold up. Whoa.
Yeah, I would say probably procrastinating and or starting some projects and not fully finishing them. Those are probably the worst things, but yeah, that's
Hopefully none
me.
of those are the honey-do list, right? Because I get yelled at when I don't do it. Did you do this and this? I'm like, did I do those things? I know I did these two things, but the other two, no, I have not yet. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah. I'm sorry.
there's some of that, but it's bike stuff too. It's like you just put it off, and then before you know it, it's a day or two before a weekend. You're doing something until 2 a.m. trying to get it done. So it's what it is, man.
I think we always have that notion that we have time,
Yeah,
right? I got time. I got plenty of time. It's only Tuesday, right? I got plenty of time. The next thing you know, like you said, I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing shit I shouldn't have been doing.
yeah,
And making mistakes potentially, right? Because you're
yeah. No,
stressed
that
out,
happens.
the anxiety of waiting till the last minute, throw everything together. It's sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. I like to be prepared to the best I can anyway. My wife will
Yeah,
tell you different. At least in my mind, I'm prepared, right? For me,
right.
that
Yeah,
counts. That
I
counts. I'm
know what I
prepared.
got to do.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do
Just
it,
just
but I know what it is.
yeah, I'm just not prepared, I guess, fully in your eyes, right? But we'll meet in the middle. We'll figure it out
Right.
together. Fucking hilarious. Dude, so obviously, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm still listening to The Art of Racing in the Rain. Do you listen or read to any books?
Um, I mainly because I'm on the road a lot, right? So I'm mainly listening to you, Pipe Dreams podcasts, and oh man, there's a couple other podcasts. When I'm in the mood for it, when I can sit, really focus and listen. So yeah, that's mainly how I cover some of the miles between phone calls with dealers and whatnot. So
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts too myself. Danny Jones, of course, Joe Rogan. I listen to some comedian ones. My wife's into true crime
mhm.
and all that stuff. I listen to some of those. Like I listened to a podcast recently on the Jonestown, where the guy made everybody drink the Kool-Aid and all that
Oh yeah,
cult they had out there.
yeah,
It blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, this is insane. But yeah, I'm the same way. I honestly, when we went down to Daytona this year, me and my dad, we ended up talking, like we listened to a little bit of a podcast, and we just ended up talking pretty much the whole way down there and the whole way back. Didn't listen to no music or nothing, which is kind of nice. It was actually it was a nice change, right?
yeah.
Because usually when I travel to all these races, I'm usually by myself or with my son. So,
Well, if you're by yourself talking that much, that could be a problem.
right. But am I crazy? Right? Are we crazy? What? No, yeah,
No.
you're right. Talking to yourself the whole way. Oh my God.
Oh, the other podcast I listen to is a Ken Hill podcast. I think I've been through
Yeah,
that 4 or 5 times,
yeah,
and
yeah. Ken
that's a
Hill's
really
a
good
legend.
resource for anybody, really.
Yes, it is. Big shout out to Ken Hill. He's an absolute legend in our sport. What's the one superpower you wish you had?
The ability to freeze time, but keep doing what I need to do, right? And I reference a lot of times I wish I had a 36-hour day, right, to get things done. So it's like if everything else can freeze and I could just do what I got to do, and then we switch time back on. But I mean, that'd be killer. Then there's no 2 a.m. nights or anything like that.
True. You can do a lot of things with that for sure. I'd like to teleport. Teleportation is what I would pick.
That's another big time saver too, if it could happen.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, I'm gonna go to ASBK this weekend to Phillip Island. Boom, I'm in Phillip
Yeah,
Island, right? Be like, oh, I'm going home. Boom, I'm back at home.
killer.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
just
amazing.
that'd be absolutely amazing, right? Then I go to all the rounds I can come home, be home every night, just show up for the day and leave, right? Be
Yep.
perfect. Yeah, I'd never have to drive anywhere, no traffic. perfect, right? Yeah, and then but everything I touch goes with me too. So I put my hand on the bike and yeah, take it with me. Yeah, that would be good. Did you play any sports growing up, or do you watch any sports now, like football or basketball or anything?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports growing up. My main sport was soccer. Started that when I was 5, and then
Love
uh,
soccer.
baseball, tennis, softball, basketball, things like that. But soccer was my main sport. That was the one that stayed with me. I still play Tuesday nights, play some indoor out this
Love
way.
it.
So yeah, just try to keep moving around, get some exercise and have some fun. There's a lot of good people I play with, so it's fun to have
Do
that.
you watch? Did you watch any soccer on TV? The
Hate
NSL.
watching soccer. This is the most boring thing to watch in the world. I get frustrated. Like if I'm at a live game, like in college, if I'm sitting out a game and watching the team is the most frustrating thing in the world. I just want to scream at people and like tell them to move or go or do something. I'm not a good spectator. It's either boring or I'm way too invested, depending on who I'm watching, but I'd much rather participate.
It's hilarious. I grew up playing soccer. It's my favorite sport besides two-wheel racing, right? Is I watch soccer. My team is Inter Miami.
Okay.
So I do watch that. John says, all right, gents, it's past my bedtime. Really need my beauty sleep. Have a good beauty sleep, John. Talk to you soon, my friend. Thanks
Good
for
night,
joining
buddy.
in.
Thanks for joining.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have I got a lightning bolt tattoo on my forearm, and I have my grandfather's yearbook quote on my scapula.
Nice. What's the quote?
Working always, thinking ever, quick with words, decidedly clever. So it's something he made up, and I didn't learn of it until we were at the funeral service, and my mom and my aunts had made a collage, and that was in the middle of it. And so I think this was my first tattoo, and I went and got it tattooed on my back. And I remember through that whole thing when he passed, my mom hadn't cried at all. Right? She was too busy. She was the oldest kid. She was facilitating, making sure everything happened. She didn't really have time to let it go. But so I got that done, and I came over to their house and showed her, and she just like lost it. So I think
I love it.
in a way that was kind of a healthy thing to happen at that point. But yeah, so I just felt like that kind of embodies me too. And I think anybody that knows me might be able to attest to that.
I love it. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Actually, I have a quote here too for you. I want to know if you could tell me who said this quote. It's you don't need a therapist if you ride a motorcycle.
Was that the guy that wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
Dan Aykroyd.
Was it? Oh man,
Yeah.
not even
I got
close.
that. Well, I got that off your Facebook page, man. I read it. I said I'm gonna write this down. See if he.
Oh, man,
the name
forgot
of that
about
quote.
that one. I
Love
forgot
it.
about that one.
Dude, we have another good buddy of mine up in here, dude. Dean, what is up, Dean? He says, "Love Jeff
Dean,
Rose,
I
amazing
miss
guy."
that guy. I miss that guy. Now, so BK's not going to be in the paddock. So now Dean's not going to be in the paddock. There goes some of the fun, man. I'm telling you. I'm going to miss
Dean,
those guys.
you better still show up to the paddock, is what Jeff's saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually going to get Dean on the podcast, so you guys stay tuned.
Sweet.
Dean's going to be a good one for sure. I really enjoy getting, the future legends of the sport and then turn around and getting their dads on because that's the grassroots of racing, right? That's where it always originated from. So
Well, Dean's got some history too. So, I mean, that
I
would
know
be
he
interesting
does.
for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
My man Tim said that's deep. It is deep.
Yeah.
Talking about your grandpa's quote. That's absolutely amazing. Do you play any PlayStation yourself? Obviously, you heard my son does. I do.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? So the Xbox was part of the training tool last year.
Yep.
And it wasn't motorcycle games because I don't like the rate at which the bike tips in versus like when you're doing the control. So it was car games. And I kid you not, that made a difference. I can attest to it. And people are like, what are you talking about? I said, well, yeah, you're not, pushing a bike in a corner and hanging off the thing or whatever else. But as far as like hand-eye coordination, and you're approaching a corner and you have to make an input, it's that decision of when to make the decision and how hard to pull the little trigger on the controller and crap like that. But um, I was actually doing some of the online stuff where it's like a lap challenge or whatever, and I don't know how, man, because I'm just using a controller and sitting on there and probably doing 30, 40 laps, but you end up with like a top 3 time in the country or something like that. Like, what the hell? I don't know. Maybe that's just too much time in front of the idiot box, but no, I think those things helped. It helped with the timing and the processing at speed and things like that. So I was telling Christian yesterday, like probably should start that again based on how the weekend went. So,
Dude, I play Ride 5. I haven't got Ride 6 yet, just because it's basically the same, right? People say they
yeah,
like Ride 5 better. I wait till it goes on sale or gets free on the PlayStation Plus, and I can just stream it and play it. Then decide if I want to spend $30 on it if it ever goes on sale, right?
right.
But I do, man, I really love playing Ride 5. Ride 4, still in my opinion, is probably the best ride they've ever made. Um, but I enjoy sitting down when I have the chance and playing the ride. My problem is when I do sit down and play, I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna play for an hour, and then sometimes it turns into 4 hours. My wife's like, "Are you gonna
Oh
do
yeah,
this? You gonna do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get to it in a minute." And I'm like, "Holy shit, I've been sitting here for 3 hours playing this game." Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you do learn because you get track knowledge and turn in points and all that. And when you show
Mhm.
up, you do your track walk. It's just a visualization. Now you know where to go, and it's fun, man. Right? Let's just be
Yeah,
honest. It's fun to play video games.
yeah.
Growing up, are you a Star Wars fan?
No, I was never into Star Wars, which is a little weird because the font in the logo, the turn, that's derived from one of the
Yeah.
Star Wars fonts. But I just thought it worked. But no, I was never really into it.
Okay, podcast done. Bye. No, I'm just joking.
Right, you're cut off.
Bye. Bam. Wrong answer. No. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars nerd. I grew up watching Star Wars, so yeah. Who don't want a lightsaber, Jeff? Are you kidding me right now? Everybody wants a lightsaber,
Right.
dude. Or could use the
Hey,
Force.
if if you yeah, if you want to talk to a Star Wars aficionado, you got to get Flying Brian Bartlow on here
Dude,
and have him be able to show that collection.
we'll,
That's
we'll we'll make it happen. I will make it happen for sure. I'm already friends with Brian. We've been talking back and forth. He's busy, but I'm gonna nail you down, Brian, for sure. We're gonna do
let's
this.
get him.
Yeah, I got lightsabers and all that stuff too myself. I can't lie. I'm a nerd. Yeah, Brian Bartlow. We'll get him on. Star Wars rules. Thank you, Dean. Yes, it does, man. Yes, it does. I love it. So let me ask you this, Jeff. What advice would you give to somebody that's looking to get into our sport?
I would say, take if you're serious about it, take the training aspect seriously. Work with a coach. Try to get a little understanding of data, and maybe a coach that's good at it. I think there's a lot of people that approach it from something that it's just going to be fun for them. They start to take it serious and they want to develop. And I see a lot of people getting stuck, right? Um, you see people with an aim solo and they're watching for a lap time, watching for a lap time, watching for a lap time, watching for green lights on the thing, but not really understanding what that thing's capable of. I think somebody that can bring the best out of you is going to make it more rewarding. Like, especially if you have goals of racing or whatnot. But I mean, you can also be coached just to be better and safer and more efficient, right? So I would say that's the biggest thing when you're at a track day. Don't hesitate to ask somebody to help you out because we love doing it, and also be in tune with the advice that you're getting. Right? If somebody's telling you you need to be faster in turn two, like what the hell does that mean? How? Why? What do I have to do with the bike? What do I have to do with the inputs? What am I doing wrong with myself? Or explain, how it's going to make a difference and at least how to approach it from the beginning and what to expect to get out of it and have somebody guide you through those things. But, there's a lot of times where some people who are fairly well regarded are just well, you need to be faster. You need to go to the gas. You need to, and it's vague and it's non-specific, but there's a how and a why to it. And I think you got to be sure you're getting that out of it, and you got to have a plan and somebody that can really understand how you learn. So
Yeah, this is the trick, right? It's like teachers teaching kids, right? You gotta approach different people in different ways to make them understand what you're saying and for them to listen and
right,
get it right. So yeah, and I think a lot of it too is like use the tools in your toolbox that you have right now, meaning that you don't need that $6,000 exhaust or the $2,500 K Tech for you. Just
so
set the bike up for you with the tools you have available and learn how to go fast on that. Once you outride that stock suspension, like you did all the adjustments in the springs, and like I'm fast enough, I got to make this next step. Then you make that next step. I think a big mistake is everybody comes in and they're just like, oh, I need this $6,000 exhaust and I need these rims and I need that. And I'm like, to look
no.
good while it's sitting in the pits, yeah, it's going to be a badass bike, but you still can't ride it, right? Like,
No, stock bikes are so capable these days is the thing. Even you just upgrade the tires a little bit, have somebody dial in the suspension. There's always a guy at the track. Make sure the ergonomics are good and send the thing. It's gonna be fine. Like it's got to be rider mods over bike mods from the beginning, right? So,
110%. If you could travel back to any era of time, what time would you travel back to?
phew, that's a tough question, man. I would think I would travel back to when I started riding and just take a totally different approach. If you can know what you know now, right, and bring it back with you. But I've had conversations with. I was talking to Fonger one day, and it was like, dude, I'm at this point. I feel like I hit a wall. Like I'm not going to be as fast as you, but I'm doing like the same time everywhere, and I feel like I hit a wall. And he said, well, when did you start doing track days? And it was like 7 years, right? At that time, it was like 7 years. And he's like, when did you do your first race? And it's like, okay, that's 3 years, right? And I'm 11 years older than him. And he goes, all right, so I've been doing this 13 years longer than you before you sat on a bike. And I'm like, okay, seat time experience, right? So could I go back to when I started? I started at 19. I would want to go back realistically. Let's change that. Let's go back to when I was like 3 years old and move to a place where there's flat track or something and start there. But yeah, that was an eye-opening conversation for sure.
Oh, 100%. Because you never thought of it at that angle and that perspective,
No,
right? Now you're like,
no,
it opened up another door inside your mental brain, and you're like, I didn't know that door existed, but
yeah.
thank you, right? Speaking of flat track race, dude, the race at Daytona is always amazing, bro. Have you been to a flat track race?
Just local. There's some local stuff here out near Folsom, I think, and we go out there. It's called Fast Fridays. And it's a
Bro,
bunch of local people, and sometimes there's guys from Europe that come out, I guess, in the fall. I haven't seen that yet, but I went out there a few times this year, and it's fun, man. It's really wild just watching these dudes. That thing is just boom, leaned over, and then it comes up on the wheel, and you're like, the way it goes in, like that's a road race bike. You're like, okay, it's a crash. No, and the thing just pops up on wild. It's fun, and you're right there on top of it. It's cool.
bro, at Daytona, if you ever get a chance, you need to go to Daytona to the 200. Go to the flat track. It's a short track, and like you're literally pushing up against the fence, and they're like this close to you. Come on, like, it's
Getting
dude,
pelted with dirt.
bro. Yeah, I was filthy, absolutely filthy. I love it. There's people. I remember the first time I went. I'm looking down the fence, and I'm like thinking to myself, why the fuck does everybody got goggles on? Looking goofy as no helmet, right? Little did I know, right? I'm like, let's go. The first time I'm watching them come by, I'm like, now I know why they got the goggles on. This year, I just turned my head and kept the camera like this. Still,
Nice.
still no goggles, right? Uh, but dude, yeah, it's they had this year they had the adventure bikes out there, flat track and adventure bikes. You talking about chaos? That was utter chaos right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was. I think it was only like 4 laps. On the second lap, the dudes see turn one, going into turn one. One guy fucking totally ate shit. I was recording. I was like, "Oh shit! Did you guys see that?" And as soon as I said that, the announcer goes, "I forget who it was, smashed over here and turn three." So I put my camera like this, and as soon as I went to pan like this, the dude coming out, turn four, going down the start finish, he freaking high sided to the freaking moon, and I was like, "Dude, this is absolutely amazing! Like, let's go!" Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I posted some videos, Tim, of the flat track, dude. It was, bro. I told my dad because my dad went. He didn't go to the flat track. I was like, Dad, it's super loud. Like it's because you're right there, and it's probably not going to end till 11. And I'm probably not going to get back to the hotel till 1. That's just my mo, right? He's like, nope, take me back to the hotel. So he didn't get to see it. But, bro,
Crazy.
Listen, if people out there you haven't seen a flat track race, you have to go. And it was if I'm not mistaken, it was Cody Kopp's first return to national flat track, if I'm not mistaken, at Daytona.
That's another one that's been impressive to watch his transition to road racing.
Dude, listen, I 100% agree, but I don't think he had a fair shot at it.
No.
And the reason why I say that is, dude, he's like 6'4", dude. He don't belong on a talent cup. He should have at least been on a Twins Cup or a Super Sport bike, 110%.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cool idea because I'm a huge fan of flat track, and I think honestly it's the best way to train flat track and motocross. Right? You do get hurt on motocross bikes often, like me, right? But flat track, man, you're constantly fighting for grip, front, rear, right? No front brake, but you learn that slide. You learn what the bike feels like underneath you when it's doing that. So when you're on the road course and you have that front or that rear come around, it's again seat time. It's that muscle memory, right? You kind of know what to expect and hope you can save it. So
yeah, that was another thing I did for the first time this year. I went out to see Brian at Feel Like a Pro Dirt, and we had a pro racer camp one weekend, and man, that was probably like my third time on dirt, and I was before this I was really apprehensive on dirt, like riding on ice kind of a thing. We were at a work event and I dumped a KX 250 doing nothing heroic. Like I wish there was a cool story, like I tried to triple something and whip it, but dude, I was straight up and down and just dropped this bike and destroyed my arm, and my thigh still has kind of like a divot in it, but no, going to Brian's thing and having him teach us the basics and just build us up throughout the weekend. You know, before we know it, he's calling me out like, put your shit on, we're going. And then it's just me and him. He's looping me around the little flat track section, and we're pushing and pushing and pushing. And then finally he tucks the front and I kept going. I was like, holy shit, like I'm getting it. You know what I mean? And yeah, just getting used to that new thing of the front sliding and the back coming around and just working with it. And that was huge. I want to go back there.
I love it, man. Yeah, flat tracks. Definitely the way to go, 110%. Listen, dude, this has been a lot of fun. We're an hour and 42 minutes into this podcast. It's crazy. It goes by super quick. One last question. I'm gonna give my shout outs and I'm gonna let you end the podcast. Just stay on with me for a second after I end this. Money No Object, you done retired. You have your own Moto America Superbike team. What's the manufacturer team you would have, and who are the 2 current riders in Moto America you'd put on your team?
That's a tough question. I'm going to grab ZX10 double Rs, right? Because I know with these new ones, Chuck Graves is latching onto them again. So I think there's going to be something going on. So I'm going to grab ZX10 double Rs. And I'm going to grab my local guys. I'm going to grab Cam. I'm going to grab Bobby. I'm going to let these boys rip it up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just Superbike team, or you just that?
I mean, you if you want a Twins Cup team, our Super Sport team, yeah, name the riders.
Man.
But there's no Kawasaki, right? So you'd have to have a manufacturer too.
That's the thing. I would say don't count Kawasaki out. I think I gotta think something will come. Like
we'll see.
That 636 is still strong in that segment. You know, having something that can fit the rules package in Moto America would be nice. So I can't see that things would change. I mean, I literally know nothing, but I don't know. I got high hopes for it. So we'll see.
Okay, so let's say you have a ZX6R and Super Sport. Who are the two riders you'd put on those? They
Um,
got to be different riders than the two you just named.
yeah, for sure. So let's see. I'd like to see Escalante back on it because he was on that 636 a few years back and he did pretty well. Um, man, this is a tough one. I'll put Kayla on it.
There you go. Dream team right there, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of Escalante, real quick, he did it again, right? Down he went in the
Poor guy.
Daytona. Yeah. In 4-2, man. My boy Tyler Scott, he got second. 1 year, they'll win it 110%. 1 year in 4 will win the Daytona 200. They're all my friends, and I cheer for them. They got a squad too this year. You can't count Tyler Scott out neither.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want to give my shout outs real quick. First thing, as I always say, is man, listen, Jeff, seriously, if it wasn't for you and everybody coming on this, I wouldn't be sitting here in this chair doing this. It's because you and everybody that listens and hits the likes and subscribes. It's nothing but love to each and every single one of you. And I absolutely mean that. I've been saying that since day one. And that's just the truth, right? So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Big shout out to K-Tech Suspension, SFL Mini GP, Jersey, and in South Florida. I got 2 friends that make the best undersuits on the planet. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from either company. First one is Mama Venom at venomsport.com. The second one is my man Tate at 64 Degree Racing. Right there is my 64. One of my undersuits I got from Tate right there. Absolutely in love with them. I got 3 friends that make graphics in the industry too. Again, you're not going to go wrong by ordering from any 3 of these guys. Okay, whether you want your helmet wrapped, your car wrapped, your dog wrapped, your wife wrapped, whatever you want wrapped, right? They can make it happen. Chris Grizel at Drip and Wet, Reese Brody at REB Graphics, and my man Gus Rodeo at GRG Designs. Again, you're not going to go wrong by ordering stickers or whatever it is you need. They got you. Big shout out to Chef Eats. So my buddy Jeff Servin out here, he has a company called Chef Eats, and put them in the microwave and put them in the oven, but they're super healthy meals. He can cater them to. They got athlete meals. They got and they're super good food. So if anybody's in the market for food to take, and it's easier just to take a microwave than to track than a grill and the charcoal and all this stuff, right? Just throw stuff in the little refrigerator with a microwave, and you got food for the whole weekend, and it's delicious and healthy for you too. So, big shout out to the Clothing King. So it's a sponsor I have out there in the UK. So all my UK friends can go to clothingkings.co.uk and order all your Pendergast merch. I get asked about my jacket. That's where it comes from, the Clothing Kings. Big shout out to Vet2Track for all my veterans out there. My buddy Jim Whitman has an amazing program. He brings, the big thing that I've noticed in the military, I grew up in the military, is the brotherhood, right? And once you're out of the military, you're lost, because in civilian world is what they call it. There's not that brotherhood anymore, right? So Jim gets everybody together at the racetrack, which is the biggest bonus of all, and you get to help out the team, hang out, and it's just absolutely amazing. So if anybody's out there interested, go to vet2track.org and sign up. Next one is tbexusaexperience.org. It's another amazing program we have here in America. And it's for everybody that, is unfortunate, don't have an arm or a leg or paralyzed from the waist down. You can still get on that motorcycle and ride, and you can still race too. It's absolutely possible. Again, it's tbexusaexperience.org. It's an amazing program. Mike is absolutely proper mega. I got so many friends in the program. I mean, what a beautiful thing, Jeff, right? Who would have thought? Bro, it's just absolutely amazing. I actually had Mike on the podcast, so you guys should go back and check it out, tune in and listen, because he tells his whole story where the idea come up and how it made it happen. And yes, it's absolutely an amazing story. One last thing I'm gonna say before I turn the microphone over to Jeff is, if anybody needs anything in the industry, don't order that shit off of Walmart and Target and all that. I don't care if you save 10%, whatever they say. listen, this is how my friends like Jeff and everybody in this industry stay afloat, is by you ordering the shit from in the industry, no matter what it is, tires, jackets, hoodies, it don't matter. Keep it in the industry, people. Trust me, between me and Jeff and the 501 podcasts I've done, we know everybody in the industry. We can definitely point you in the right direction for all your needs, chain sprockets, clip-ons, whatever the case may be. Keep it in the industry. And on that note, Jeff, give a shout out to all your sponsors. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I mean, you're the one providing the platform, right? Giving the little guys a voice. You got big guys on here too. It's a good mix. So thank you for that. Thank you for having me. It's awesome. But I'm gonna thank my wife first, because she does a lot for me, and she puts up with so much. There's a lot of sacrifice that can go into something like this when we're trying to push and trying to do what we're doing. So I got to thank her for all her support, and she makes my life easy. She makes my days at the track super easy, and just gives me peace when she's around. And that's just the biggest thing. So shout out to Allie. I love her so much. Thank you to my Turn 3 racing team for kind of believing in the vision and the dream for all of us, and just being on board and helping each other when we need help, even if, we're not racing, we're still showing up and helping pit and all that. So another new news for you. Thank you to my new title sponsor, Counterbalance Canine Services in Chico, California, for coming on this year, and again, believing in me and supporting me through this season. So we're going to be doing some really good things together, not only in the program I have now, but we should probably have a catch up mid-season with what I think might happen, because it might not just be Formula Pacific and Open Superbike that we'll be running in. We might be in a totally different class that is kind of up and coming for the AFM, thanks to Counterbalance K9 and Geezer Engineering. So that's coming. Thanks to Motological for my data support and data engineer, and just keeping my head right, keeping the bike right, keeping me right. A lot of last year and what's going on now, I owe to Christian. Woodcraft Technology has been with me for years and years now, so thank you for their support. Hindle Exhaust, Armor Bodies, all in the same package. Just incredible stuff. We saw this weekend how the Woodcraft bits saved the bike. The foot peg in this case didn't need to break, and it didn't break, and it saved most of the side of the bike. And the easy stuff to repair is just bolt off, bolt on, and we're good to go. So love their stuff. Techmoto Performance in Chico, California, for doing our builds and dyno tuning and getting us parts and making sure the bikes are set up and dialed and making power. Good stuff out of that shop. Mike Canfield, the legend, MC Tech.
Legend.
Unbelievable magic, right? Tony at Rider Gear for the suits, just, custom fit, airbags, keeping it dialed. We've crashed in them, and they're just solid, man. Can't thank him enough for the support. Mama Venom at Venom Sport, doing our base layer, team base layers, Graves Motorsports, Rhino Power, ASV Inventions, Vortex, Raboconda Motion Pro, Araya Americas, Fun Track Days. Thank you, Augie, for all the support. Let me, ride with you guys and trusting me with the customers. And same thing to Dylan at Volant Viver. Thanks for having me on board, giving me ride time and letting me work with the customer, man. It's amazing just to see the support. I thought about it the other day. It's like I've only been out here 5 years, and just the people around me it blows my mind that in a relatively short amount of time that there's this level of support and resources and just friendships and all that whole thing it's incredible. So I'm grateful for all these people.
I love it. It's the beautiful circus, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. The freaking beautiful circus. So that's all we got tonight. Thank you for everybody in the chat that tuned in on the live podcast. Every single one of you is absolutely proper. Megan, if anybody in the chat wants to come on the podcast, or you, Jeff, know anybody out there where you are that would love to come on the podcast, dude, please send them my way. I'll get them all on. And tomorrow I got Joe from Kramer USA on the podcast at 7 p.m. EST time, which is going to be an amazing podcast. So you guys stay tuned for that. Chuck says, am I late? Yeah, Chuck, you are late. Absolutely. We're getting ready to end the podcast right now, but you can go to YouTube here in a minute and rewatch it. It'll be out on Spotify and all that good stuff here in about 40 minutes. So, yeah, on that note, yeah, there ain't no racing this weekend. Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Right.
It's off weekend. It's good. It's good, though. It's needed. Reboot.
Yeah. Yeah. Reboot is good every once in a while. But, Jeff, is there anything you want to say for ending the podcast?
No, just thanks for joining everybody and commenting and participating. You find me on Facebook, Jeff Rose number 754, and Instagram is LHefe754. So follow me. Keep an eye on the journey this year. It's going to be, it's going to be a big challenge, big battle, and there'll be more news coming. So keep an eye out.
There you go. And you guys stay tuned because we're going to have Jeff back down on mid-season, and we'll fill you in on all the gaps, and then at the end of the year too, so we can talk about the full season. And yeah, on that note, I will see you guys and girls tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST time. Don't be late, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.